I don't know, friend. Okay. This entire thing with Tyler Perry and Derek Dixon is super unfortunate. Um, I don't really know. Like, I'm going to read this because I want to know for myself. But a couple of emotions or a couple of thoughts that I had is this is becoming real common. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, like, yes, this is a real situation that happens to people, but it's really becoming very common. Okay, and at some point, friend, at some point, baby, we got to go back to work. And I'm not saying that it's always a scandal, but I am saying the situation with Tyler Perry and Derek Dixon, it just seems like it seems very opportunistic or like an opportunity. Okay. Um, I'm also seeing a lot of love lines here. Okay, so love lines typically show up when two people have an agreement or two people actually have an understanding. Okay, Delinda is here, so I think that a natural understanding about what was taking place between the two actually occurred. So I do believe that it's true now. I also believe that when Derek Dixon initially approached Tyler Perry, because even though I think the media is saying that he was picked, okay, Derek Dixon definitely put himself in the spotlight to be seen. Okay. And from there, this is talking about dinners, and it crosses between meetings, boundaries, and things like that. But when you add dinner to a meeting, that does set like a space of intimacy, friend. Okay. So I feel like Derek Dixon did have a plan to maybe ask for money, but I don't think he even ever asked. Okay. And it gives me kind of like, maybe he just put on that facade like, well, I'm just your friend. I'm just here for you. Thank you for the opportunity. And in the back of his mind, he wanted more money. Okay. This is saying that November 27th is going to be significant. Now, this is November 27th that's already passed. So that's a time of significance. Also, December 13th of last year is a time of significance. But then it jumps all the way to March of last year. So now we're looking at connections. We're talking about love lines. We're talking about planning. Now we're looking at times that are very, very significant. I believe that there will be a lot of messages or a lot of evidence, okay, that alludes to a relationship, okay, of some sort. I think Tyler is going to be extremely calm about this because this is saying that he actually pretty much expected for something like this to happen. I don't feel like there was a title put on their relationship that they had, but I also feel like this was very unexpected. Okay. Now, the very first card that flew out indicates that Derek Dixon did not make the decision to sue alone. I'm not sure if that's a decision that you make by yourself anyway. The best energy shows up. So this is going to be another male and female who he's actually, and this is not counsel, baby. This is friend. Okay, so it's not attorney. It's not counsel. It is friend. Okay, just so we're clear. Male, one female who he's not necessarily planned it with, but definitely talked to. This is saying that maybe this particular male best friend is actually a romantic interest in Derek's life, who actually maybe seen this whole Tyler scheme or set it up this way. This is saying that two people planned intimacy in the month of January. Okay, so that means this past January, Derek and maybe this male person that's in his life planned an intimate moment with Tyler for money. I don't believe that it was always for money. The Gronberg energy is here, so I don't believe that it was always for money, but I do believe that maybe money definitely became the root of all evil. Okay. The Dark of More card shows up. So this talks about how it plays out. I think it's very much so up in the air because I do think that there is this, and I want to say awkward respect level that Tyler and Derek have, but with the cards that I've read so far, it's definitely, this reads like a relationship, like it's very consensual. So I do feel like negotiations will be had, and I don't think that this will be messy in the court. Okay, the law card shows up here. I don't feel like it'll be messy in the court. What I will say is I think that obviously we all know that Tyler Perry's his what's the word I'm looking for, friend? He's tarnished. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will always have something to say about this particular situation. I do feel like Tyler Perry's ancestors are in the midst, and I also feel like Derek's ancestors are in the midst, because this is actually saying that this is fueled by money. I think that we'll see a change with this particular amount. I think $260,000 is definitely not particularly set in stone, so we could actually see that amount increase. But I also feel like Tyler Perry gives this money over. I do. The number 4 is of significance here. I feel like this could be, I feel like a lot's going to take place within the next 4 months, but I also feel like an apology is going to be rendered from Derek to Tyler Perry, maybe behind closed doors. The invoke card shows up, so Tyler Perry won't try to seek any type of retribution. I feel like what saves Derek from Tyler Perry's wrath, so to speak, is, first of all, the fact that there are mutual feelings for each other, and then maybe Tyler Perry understands the struggle here. So, you know, very, very transparent reading. Let me see what questions I had. Just so, let me see. So what was the real reason Derek Dixon came forward now? Okay. So the family card shows up. So upright, this is a card of family. In reverse, it's a card of being pushed by your friends. Okay. You have the number 3, which is significant. Again, this is going to be 3 people. When you -1, you reverse the card, and that leaves 2 people, the male and female, who pushed Derek Dixon to get the money. And then the tarot deck shows up, which is my sign that my spirit guides are saying the reading is definitely accurate. I think that money fueled this. Is there a karmic debt? Very good question. So is there a karmic debt between Tyler and Derek that they're both having to pay, a penance they're both having to pay? Demetra shows up in reverse. I don't believe that there's a karmic debt, but I do feel like this is a learning lesson for both of them. Maybe this is the step Tyler needed to actually come out of, I won't call it the closet, but just come into itself. You know what I mean? Delissa shows up. Oddly, this is saying that the 2 remain friends after this. Again, Tyler Perry was expecting for this to happen. I think we'll notice like a very calm energy when it does come to him. The vortex of youth shows up, which is almost like a public speech. This is almost like he'll speak at a podium about the situation, and I feel like we'll hear from him very soon. Is there any manipulation going on with the legal documents? Omixa shows up. I think that Derek has really good representation, but more importantly, I think he has honest representation. I don't feel like we'll see a mix up with the documents. Now, Noesha is here. This is talking about what the people submit. So again, what the people are submitting, like Derek, his friends, or whoever, testimonies from anybody like that, I think that is in question. But I feel like there could be a change with counsel here, because maybe Derek's counsel is too honest, or maybe Derek's counsel is not willing to cross some lines. Is jealousy present? Jealousy is not present. Okay, jealousy is definitely not present. The obsession card shows up with the bird. This is so just out of the blue, like for Tyler Perry. The card of positioning means that a threat was not even necessarily given. Why would Derek be over there a lot of times? I feel like this is a total of 8 times. I think that 4 times are very inviting. This talks about coming over 4 times of being invited. The confidant energy shows up. So now we're dealing with like geographical location, which can get tricky in tarot. I don't feel like digging in that deep. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video, but I will say 8 times for sure. And then he went to, this says mold Tyler Perry. Now I'm not, but you know what? When you're dealing with somebody who's not comfortable with being themselves, not comfortable with being their self, you can mold them. You can. I will do a part 2 to this because I got to process this myself. So how does this end? The Trixie card shows up, negotiations, the elder is in reverse. I believe that negotiations are taking place as of right now. And I don't feel like a lot of legal counsel is involved in the negotiations. This says that Tyler and Derek both have a form of communication and a way of communication. So we'll see what happens. Whew.